As I was preparing my sermon for tonight, I was reading a story about a Florence that I'm going to share with you, and then I learned that Florence Henderson passed away from the Brady Bunch. This is a recording a woman named Florence left. But let me set it up this way. Thanksgiving isn't just a holiday. I know you're full still from yesterday. Thanksgiving is an attitude of gratitude. As the Arizona journalist Mr. Montini writes in relating a phone message he recorded and kept, Mr. Montini, she said, "My name is Florence. I'm older. I don't know how much more time I have because my body's breaking down. I just wanted to thank you for your articles. I'm thanking all the people who've done something special for me in my life. That's what I'm doing." Mr. Montini writes, "I never did anything special for this woman. The articles that she thanks me for writing weren't done for her. They were done for me, like every article I write. I figure on some level Florence knows this, or at least senses it. Still, she thanked me. This older woman I've never met, who doesn't know how many days she'll be here. She wasted 30 precious seconds, maybe a couple of minutes when you add in the time it took her to collect her thoughts, get the telephone number, dial. It's too much time to spend on a stranger who hasn't done a thing for you except by accident. I hate to contradict a person in her situation, but Florence doesn't know what she's talking about. She's got it all backwards. It was she who did something for me. She gave me a gift. I was going to save it for myself, but it's a gift that only has value if it's used. That is why, if you've read my columns this far, there's only one thing for me to say to you. Thank you. Friends, on this Shabbat Thanksgiving and in the season ahead, why not take a few extra moments to give an extra thank you to God, to a stranger, to a member of your family? That simple thank you can change their day or even their life. The essence of this holiday is not thanks. It's giving thanks. Something we too often forget, not just as kids, but even more as adults. Listen to these forgotten words written long ago. See if you can place them. I bet some of you can. I quote, "We have been the recipients of the choicest bounties of heaven. We have been preserved these many years in peace and prosperity. We have grown in wealth, numbers, and power as no other nation has ever known, but we have forgotten the hand which preserved us and enriched us and strengthened us. And we have vainly imagined in our hearts that all these blessings we enjoy were procured by some virtue of our own, intoxicated with unbroken success. We become too proud to pray to the God that made us. It has seemed to me fit and proper, therefore, that God should be solemnly and gratefully acknowledged as with one heart and one voice by the whole American people. I do therefore invite my fellow citizens in every part of the United States to observe the last Thursday of November as a day of thanksgiving and praise to our God who dwelleth in the heavens." You guessed it. Those were the words written by President Abraham Lincoln in 1863 in the midst of a civil war. How relevant they still are today. We're called upon to give thanks no matter what our age. And we have no excuse not to give thanks when we consider, ladies and gentlemen, where we find ourselves in God's world. We're not in the same shoes as the pioneers of Thanksgiving who endured bone-chilling cold, disease, starvation in 1623. There was a 240-year gap between the first and second Thanksgiving, in case you didn't know. And that's when Abraham Lincoln said, in the midst of a civil war of unequaled and severe magnitude, this holiday of giving thanks was born in the midst of a civil war of unequaled and severe magnitude. May we never forget that. And may we find a way on this Shabbat Thanksgiving and on every day to do what that Florence woman did, to cultivate an even deeper attitude of gratitude. For our sake, for God's sake, for the sake of our community and nation, for the sake of the world and all whose lives we touch. And let us say, Amen.